Hello, I wanted to add this as a supplementary video to launching applications and using jump lists from the taskbar. The reason I'm adding this on is because I realized that I only showed you how jump lists work with files. I didn't show you how jump lists can work with other things like File Explorer or Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. I'm sure that you can extrapolate from how I demonstrated how uh, jump lists in Microsoft Word that jump lists in Excel and PowerPoint are very much the same. In fact, it's the same for many programs, including Adobe Acrobat. However, you might have also noticed that there really isn't much that shows up in the jump list for Outlook. And that can be true sometimes, but sometimes things do show up in the jump list for Outlook, such as frequently accessed emails or things like that. But I did want to show you how the jump list looks for Google Chrome and for File Explorer. Again, we'll be utilizing JAWS as our screen reader, but please keep in mind that other screen readers may also be used and that these are Windows commands. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is jump to my taskbar by pressing Windows key plus the letter T.
Windows T taskbar Outlook left parent classic right parent pinned button 1 of 12. To activate press space bar.
This works for Google Chrome and for Microsoft Edge in different ways, but I'm going to show you both browsers. Because Google Chrome I know is the second one in, I'm just going to press the right arrow key.
Google Chrome pinned button 2 of 12. To activate press space bar.
And now I'm going to press my application key.
Applications items list box. Pinned unavailable downloads. 1 of 4. To move to an item press the arrow keys.
Again, I'm going to hit my home.
Home.
And now I'm going to press my up arrow.
List box unpinned items list box. Pinned unavailable vi.k12.y.us. 1 of 1. To move to an item press the arrow keys.
This is my Works website. So I have gone ahead, I guess, and pinned that to the top. I'm going to press my down arrow.
Most visited unavailable. DocuSign login dash enter email to start sign in. 1 of 4. To move to an item press the arrow keys.
This is a very frequently visited site for me. So it's on my most visited sites here. I'm going to use a down arrow.
Oracle PeopleSoft sign dash in 2 of 4.
That's where I report my time. So that's definitely a place that I visit. Down arrow.
Google Sites 3 of 4. FS-S data-center wide-all documents 4 of 4.
And this is just a SharePoint site that happens to be something I use for work. The next area is
recently closed unavailable. DocuSign login dash enter email to start sign in. 1 of 1. To move to an item press the arrow keys.
So as you can hear, I've recently closed the DocuSign tab. So there's different areas of this jump list. I'm going to go ahead and press escape.
Escape taskbar Google Chrome pinned button 2 of 12. To activate press space bar.
I'm going to press M for Microsoft Edge.
Microsoft Edge pinned button 4 of 12. To activate press space bar.
And now my application key.
M applications items list box. Recently closed unavailable. DocuSign login dash enter email to start home.
My home key to go to the top.
List box on items list box pinned unavailable. vi.k12.y.us. 1 of 1. To move to an item press the arrow keys.
I've also pinned my work website here.
Recently closed unavailable. Google. 1 of 3. Bard Braille and audio reading download National Library Service for the blind and print disabled. Bard Braille and audio reading download National Library Service for the blind and print disabled downloadable books and magazines 3 of 3.
And these next options were also available in Google Chrome, but I didn't want to go over them twice. Below where we have our pinned and our recently closed and our frequently visited are the categories that we have. But below that are some tasks that we can perform with our browsers.
Tasks unavailable. New window. 1 of 2. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
New window is an option.
New and private window. 2 of 2.
in private. In Chrome, it's called incognito, which means that there is less tracking of your activity. I'm not saying that it doesn't track at all. It just is less tracked.
List box Microsoft Edge. 1 of 2. Unpin from taskbar. 2 of 2.
And unpin from taskbar is always our last option. I'm going to press escape.
Escape taskbar. Microsoft Edge pinned button. 4 of 12. To activate, press spacebar.
So those are some jump list options that are available in different browsers and what they look like when you navigate them. As I'm sure you can extrapolate, files in Excel are very similar to what we looked at in Word, as are files in PowerPoint, things like that. Also very similar in the Notepad. The one of them that's slightly different, and I'm going to go to File Explorer by pressing the letter F.
File Explorer pinned button. 3 of 12. To activate, press spacebar.
For those who are unfamiliar, File Explorer is the app or the part of Windows that is used to open files that you have saved locally on your computer, or in some cases that have synced with your OneDrive. And we can go over that another time. But basically, it's just finding where your files are saved and stored. And sometimes navigating File Explorer can be somewhat tricky, which is one way that jump lists come in handy. It's a lot of key commands and jumping around, but sometimes if you can save yourself different key commands, you can save yourself a little trouble by locating and being able to open frequently opened or frequently accessed areas. So I'm going to press my application key here.
F. Applications. List box. Unpin from taskbar. 2 of 2. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
I'm going to press my home button.
Home.
Okay. And the top thing
Item downloads. 1 of 4.
is downloads. Again, it says 1 of 4. I frequently access my downloads. I download calendar invitations, documents, things like that. So those all by default in my browser go to my downloads. And so it's nice to be able to access my downloads in a very simple way. So that's one way to do it. There are some other ones that I have pinned here that I'm going to go through.
2025-2026 school year. 2 of 4.
So we're at the very end of this school year, but during the whole school year, I have this folder pinned here because then I know that the projects and things that I have in this folder are available to me. And when the new school year starts, I create a new folder. I usually keep this one here for a little while because I know I access things that, are a little overflow or that go between one school year and the next that I need to access. But, it's easy to do, pin and unpin.
Assistive tech resources. 3 of 4.
I put a lot of things in there.
Overview of the Windows 11 environment with a screen reader. 4 of 4.
Guess what? That's the name of this series. I spend a lot of time in that folder too. So those are the 4 pinned items that I have. Below that,
List box File Explorer. 1 of 2. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
Pressing that would just open File Explorer, but again, I could have just hit Windows 3 and done that, or done Windows T and navigated to File Explorer and pressed Enter. I didn't need to go through all of this to open File Explorer, but it's there in case it's needed for some reason. In Windows, there's multiple ways to do a lot of different tasks. And of course, at the bottom,
Unpin from taskbar. 2 of 2.
is unpin from taskbar. So I hope this addendum has been helpful for you. Thanks so much and have a great day.